Okay, YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys the top 5 big man and center builds in NBA 2K22 Next Gen. I've been playing a lot more big man this year, so I decided to put all of my favorite big man builds into one video. Also, please like and subscribe. We're literally right at 15k subscribers. In fact, by the time this video comes out, we might have already hit 15k. Also, let me know down below in the comment section which one of these big man builds is your favorite. And also let me know if you're gonna make any of these. So first things first, let's start with my personal favorite center build. And for the position, you're gonna want to go with center. For the body settings, I decided to go with 7'3", 234 pounds, and 7'8" on the wingspan. I believe these body settings are the best balance between finishing, defense, and shooting. Starting things off with finishing, you guys can see this is very good. You're gonna get 29 total finishing badges, as well as a 90 standing dunk. And even though you won't be able to get elite big man contact dunks, the dunking on this build is definitely very good. Additionally, this build is also going to be an absolutely elite post scoring build, since you have an 87 post control and a 91 close shot. Plus, if we move on to shooting, you guys can also see you get an 84 mid range, which means you're going to be able to hit post fades very consistently. You'll definitely be able to green and shoot very consistently on this build. And anyone that says 7-3s can't shoot this year, A, can't time the jump shot, or B, hasn't tried this build right here. Or they're honestly just kind of dumb. And then moving on to playmaking, your 7'3" center, the only thing that matters is pass accuracy, which you're going to want at an 85. This will give you Hall of Fame break starter and gold bullet passer. I'm pretty sure I have this on almost every single center build in this video. Onto defense, you guys can see this is absolutely elite. You're going to get in total 32 defensive badges, as well as Hall of Fame brick wall, Hall of Fame rim protector, and Hall of Fame intimidator. Unfortunately, this build won't be able to get Hall of Fame rebound chaser. It only has a 91 defensive rebound. You can get a 91 defensive rebound by maxing out your wingspan, but from my experience, having the 5 extra 3-point ratings makes a giant difference, especially with just the number of full bars you get. And then on to the physicals, you guys can see this is absolutely elite. I don't really think I need to explain this. All around, this build is absolutely elite with 101 total badges, and it's literally going to be able to do everything in this game. And as well, it can fit into almost any play style, whether that be post scoring or setting screens and then either rolling or popping out to the 3-point line. If you want free throw on this build, what I recommend doing is drop down your driving layup to a 60, also drop down your post control to an 81. This will give you an 87 free throw, and then with your last rating, just throw it on stamina. For the takeovers, I decided to go with first, see the future, and second, spot of precision. I think these are overall the best takeovers for a center popper build such as this one. And you guys can see I built a 2-way 3-level scorer, which honestly, in my opinion, does make a lot of sense as a name. So hopping into build number 2, this is going to be the only inside center build of this video. For the body settings, it's pretty much the exact same as the previous build, but instead you're going to want to go with max wingspan. This will just allow you to get a 99 defensive rebound. Now moving on to the attributes. Starting things out with finishing, this is literally as best as it can get. You're going to get a 99 standing dunk and Hall of Fame posterizer. And all around, you're just going to be dunking on everyone. And also, the post scoring on this build is going to be very good, although unfortunately you don't have a very good mid-range rating. You guys can see this is only at a 47. After all, I did want this to be an inside center build. Onto playmaking, this is pretty much identical to the previous build. You guys know pass accuracy is the only thing that matters, and you do need to upgrade this to an 85 to get gold bullet passer. Next, for defensive / rebound, you guys can see just like the finishing, this is absolutely elite. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it gets much better than this. And then next, moving on to the physicals, this is again absolutely elite. All around, this build is going to be very solid. I would definitely recommend it much more for a rec center or a pro-am opposed to park. And all around, this build is just going to be dunking on everyone with standing dunks. And as well, it's going to be getting unlimited blocks and unlimited rebounds. If you do want free throw on this build, what I recommend doing is drop down your post control to an 87. You can then get a max free throw at an 88. And then with your last few ratings, I'd recommend throwing it on stamina. And then I guess you still have 1 rating left, so just throw it back on post control. For the takes, I decided to go with first, see the future, and stuff blocks. These are definitely the best takeovers in my opinion for a build such as this, although you can flip them if you want to have stuff blocks first. Now, as you guys can see, I have built a paint beast. Honestly, I just could not think of a more fitting name than this. So now we're going to be moving on to a bit of an interesting build. This is actually going to be our first glitched build of this video, and this is still going to be a center build. For the body settings, you're going to want to go with 2.17 meters, 101 kg, and 2.44 meters for the wingspan. You're not actually going to be making this build, but you do have to do this to glitch the build. So from there, what you're going to want to do is equip random attributes and random takeovers. Once you get on this screen with the build name, what you're going to want to do is scroll over to where it says edit build. And then once you've done that, press circle or B repeatedly until you back out to the main menu. From there, you're going to want to change the units of measurement back to imperial. From there, just change everything to the way I'm about to show you guys. For the body settings, I'd recommend going with 7'2", 235 pounds, and 8 foot for the wingspan. The thing that's most unique about this build and the reason why you have to glitch this build is because, as you guys can see, you get a 75 vertical. Usually if you're 7'3" or 7'2", you can't get a 75 vertical, but this build can. If you don't know, having a 75 vertical is super duper important because it allows you to get elite big man contact dunks. To starting things off with the attributes, we're going to be looking at finishing. You guys see this is all around very good. You can post score on this build if you want to, or just cut towards the basket for lobs. But the biggest thing is that you get a 90 driving dunk and you will be able to get elite big man contacts. For shooting, this is also pretty decent. Definitely, this isn't like a sharp shooting build, but if you're wide open, you will be able to knock it down pretty consistently. Now moving on to the defensive / rebounding. This is honestly almost as good as that inside 7'3" center build that I just showed you guys. You're still going to be able to get Hall of Fame rebound chaser and Hall of Fame rim protector, which are two very overpowered badges. Onto the physicals, you guys can see this is pretty decent. The big thing, as I said, for me is having that 75 vertical for elite big man contacts. This build is all around very, very good. You're going to be dunking on absolutely everyone, as well as getting unlimited rebounds and unlimited blocks. Plus, your shooting is pretty decent, and you will also be able to pass very well. If you want free throw on this build, what I recommend doing is drop down your driving layup to a 60. This will give you a 77 free throw, which is definitely very good. For the takes, I'd recommend going with first, see the future, and second, stuff blocks. As I said, these are probably the best big man takeovers in my opinion. And this time, you guys can see I didn't just make a plain old paint piece, I made a versatile paint piece. Moving on to build number 4. So for build number 4, this is going to be a metric system build. There's not like some crazy glitch you have to do, just be on the metric system. For the body settings, I would recommend going with 2.12 meters, 97 kg, and then max wingspan. Also, if you can't get this wingspan right away, what you might have to do is bump up the height 1 rating, then also bump up the wingspan, and then drop the height again. But I'm pretty sure for most people, you can just get these body settings no problem. Now moving on to the attributes. You guys can see this is all around a very, very good. You're gonna get in total 33 finishing badges, and the finishing on this build is very good. And just like the previous build, you will be able to get elite big man contacts. Plus, this is also the highest driving dunk we have seen by far in this video. Onto shooting, this is going to be very, very good. And as long as you know your jump shot, you will be able to green consistent. For playmaking, this is pretty much the exact same as all the previous builds. And then for defense, this is also pretty decent. You're only going to be able to get gold brick wall and gold rebound chaser. Although since you are faster and more athletic than the previous builds, of course you are going to have to sacrifice some things. And then moving on to the physicals, you guys can see this is quite good. With a 72 speed and a 71 acceleration, this build will be able to move around pretty well. This build in total has 100 badges, which is definitely very, very good. And you guys can see, just like the previous builds, it can literally do everything. I think the biggest difference between this build and the previous popper builds I've showed you guys is that this build has worse defense and rebounding while being much quicker. If you want free throw on this build, what I recommend doing is drop down your post control to an 82. This will give you a 75 free throw, which is pretty decent. For the takes, I decided to go with just my usual takeovers, but this time I decided to go with stuff blocks first, since after all, this build's rim protecting is definitely much better than its rebounding. And you guys can see I built yet again another versatile paint beast, which makes sense. This build is pretty similar to the previous one. Now moving on to the 5th and final big man or center build of this video. This is actually going to be a glitched build that you're going to want at the shooting guard position. I know it might sound a little bit crazy, but when you see these stats, you'll see it's fit to play the power forward or center position. For the body settings, go with 6'3", max weight and max wingspan. And then for the body shape, make sure you're on burly. As usual, for any glitched build, you're going to want to go with random takeovers and random attributes. And then, of course, once you get on this screen, scroll over to where it says edit build, back out to the main menu and change it over to the metric system. Once on the metric system, you're pretty much set. For the body settings, go with 2.05 meters, 106 kg, and 2.31 meters for the wingspan. All around, I do believe these are the best settings, at least for an undersized big man build. So starting things off with our finishing attributes and badges. You guys see this is actually just top tier. And also this is the only build on this list that's able to get elite driving contact dunks, which is just crazy. Onto shooting, this is also very elite. You will 100% be able to green very, very consistently on this build. I decided to actually not upgrade ball handling or speed with ball on this build. If you guys want to upgrade this, you can, but personally, I don't see myself dribbling too much. Now moving on to defensive / rebound. This is probably the craziest part of this build. Let's just talk about the fact that you're getting a 90 steal on a 6'9" build. That alone is absolutely crazy. And additionally, you're also going to be able to get Hall of Fame rebound chaser, which is just nuts. And then moving on to the physicals, I don't really think I need to explain this too much. You guys can see this is very good. If you want free throw on this build, what I recommend doing is drop down your speed 1 rating and also drop down your mid range to a 77. You can then get a 73 free throw. For the takeovers, I decided to go with first see the future and second stuff blocks. As I said, I do believe these are the best big man takes. And as you guys can see, I built a 2-way facilitating finisher, which honestly, in my opinion, does make a little bit of sense as a name. And yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. I just give you guys 5 of my personal favorite big man builds on 2K22 Next Gen. And if you found any one of them helpful, please drop me a like, subscribe to the channel. As I said, we're trying to hit 15K. There's 2 gameplay videos on the screen right now of me using center builds, as well as the best big man jump shots on the screen right now. Like, comment, subscribe, go follow me on Twitter, and I'm out. Peace.